Right, so hi everyone, we're back again with my favorite topic, of course, Abu Dhabi real estate, and three reasons why every Dubai investor should own at least one property in Abu Dhabi in 2025. So, this is the official Abu Dhabi real estate website, sort of the DXP Interact for Abu Dhabi. You guys can search it up. Let's start off with numbers. So, in the last 12 months, transactional values have increased by 36%, and transactional volume has gone up by 36% too, as well as apartment and villa sale price indices have gone up by 13%. Something very interesting I want to highlight early on is that in Abu Dhabi, most of the people that are buying are end users and families. If you look at mortgages are at all-time high. So that basically tells you Abu Dhabi is not dominated by flippers or by people looking for a quick in and out. These are people who actually want to live, rent, and buy long term in Abu Dhabi. And of course, we can have a look at the price trends here. You've got the sale price indices for Yas Island. Again, it's gone up by an insane amount in the last 1 year. And let's say for Reem Island, let me just show you guys something interesting. So in the last 6 months, rents have gone up by almost 10 to 12% on Reem Island, and apartment prices have gone up by almost 15%. My personal friends that I know who were paying around 60,000 dirhams for a one bedroom on Dream Island have now been asked to pay more than 75,000. And to your surprise, a lot of people are actually paying these rents because there's a genuine shortage of supply and they want to stay close to their workspace, to their schools, to malls, to parks. So let's get things off. Of course, the three reasons why. First of all, supply and demand, the basics. This year, Abu Dhabi has only received 800 units with a total expected supply of 8,000 units by the end of 2025. Dubai has received 17,000 units so far this year with a total expected supply of 72,000 by the year end. And of course, not all of these 70,000 units would come into supplies. There will be handover delays. So even if we take half of this number, around 35,000, that's still a very sizable majority. Over the next 4 years, Abu Dhabi is only going to be receiving around 33,000 units, while Dubai will be receiving 300,000 plus units. That's almost a 10 times difference in supply. Now, let me carry on. From January to July this year, Dubai sold 60,000 off plan units. Abu Dhabi sold only 4,000 off plan units. Again, that's a difference of almost 15 times. Dubai sold 15 times more off-plan apartments, of off-plan units compared to Abu Dhabi. Of course, talking about demand and population, how many people are there, right? So in the last 1 year, Dubai grew by 169,000 people, by 4.5%, and the total population is 3.86 million. Abu Dhabi grew by almost 300,000 people by 7.5%, and the total population is 4 million, 4.1 million. So that clearly tells you that Abu Dhabi's got the faster growing population and the higher population. So to break this down, that means for every off-plan unit which was sold in Dubai, there were one new resident, whereas in Abu Dhabi, there were 27 new residents for one off-plan unit that was sold. That's almost 17 times more population growth per unit in Abu Dhabi than Dubai. So I hope supply and demand is clear and it's out of the way. Let's move on to reason number two, value, right? Prices per square foot are almost 20-30% cheaper for similar properties compared to Dubai. Now, of course, in Dubai, as we all know, waterfront beachfront properties have appreciated the most historically. So, what are the areas in Dubai where you can get a beachfront property? Maritime City, Dubai Islands, JBR, Palm Jumeirah, etc. Right? Of course, Palm and JBR they're much more premium. We won't be including them here, but the affordable options: Maritime City and Dubai Islands, and Rashid Yachts and Marina from Emaar. For a one bed, you're looking at least 1.9 million plus in these areas, right? Emaar Beachfront even more expensive, more than 2.5 mil on Emaar Beachfront. Whereas in Abu Dhabi, you can get a one bedroom sea facing on Reem Island for just 1.1 million. And yes, I have units with me on Reem Island that are beach facing for as low as 1.1, 1.2 mil. And ready to move units, by the way, not off plan. Right. And then talking about villas, Abu Dhabi has generally got villas with larger plots and built up sizes. They're not tiny or cramped up. And they're for the same price you guys are paying in Dubai. In Dubai, you're getting a semi detached villa for 4, 5, 6 million dirhams, whereas in Abu Dhabi, you're getting a completely standalone villa for the same price on Yas Island, on Reem Island, and Reem Hills, etc. Right? So you're paying 4, 5 million, 6 million for Tilal Ghaf, Dubai Hills. Of course, these are very established communities. This is not a comparison between Abu Dhabi and Dubai, but more so about why Abu Dhabi is offering better value, and Abu Dhabi is going to look up to Dubai in the next 3, 4 years, and it's going to catch up to Dubai's prices. So if you're a villa buyer, you should basically look into Saadiyat Lagoons, Reem Hills, Hudayrat Island. Generally, you're looking at around 7, 8 million dirhams for a four bed off plan, and around 4 or 5 million for a three bed standalone villa on Yas Island, on Reem Island, and Saadiyat Island. Okay, something very, very interesting. I'm sure you guys have been hearing this buzzword recently, distress deals. Now, in Dubai, of course, you've got a lot of distress deals that are floating around, but in Abu Dhabi, you won't find this concept of a distress deal. And that's only because of one reason, because prices in Abu Dhabi, properties in Abu Dhabi are actually are actually valued at exactly what they're worth. They're being transacted at what they're worth, right? So let's say the same waterfront apartment that you're getting in Dubai at 1.9 mil, in Abu Dhabi you can get it for 1.1 mil. And that's basically technically a 20, 30, 40% discount compared to the same property in Dubai. So that's why properties in Abu Dhabi are valued exactly what they are worth. Moving on, off plan, right? Off plan prices are much lower than ready units. So in Abu Dhabi, you're not going to find this trend of off plan prices being higher than ready units because a lot of people they ask the question, why should I wait 3, 4 years for my apartment when I can just buy something ready to move in for a cheaper price? Abu Dhabi gives you the answer. In Abu Dhabi, you're going to find off plan that is cheaper than ready to move in apartments. Now, of course, it's a simple base business principle. Whether you're buying property or fruits or vegetables, the profit you're going to make it's based on the gap you buy and sell something for. So if your off-plan purchase is on a lower price per square foot compared to your neighbors, compared to your comparables, it's an amazing purchase, no matter the emirate, whether it's Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Ras Al Khaimah. So, moving on to reason number three, institutional and government backing. Now, this is, of course, my main reason. What's driving the demand in Abu Dhabi? Is it tourists? Is it influencers? Is it short term things? No. It's government and institutional backing. Now, ADGM, which is Abu Dhabi's financial free zone, just like how in Dubai you've got DIFC. So, ADGM in the last 12 months has seen an increase of 43% and operational entities. Let me just take you guys to the ADGM website, official ADGM website, right over here. Yes. So in the last 1 year, there's been an increase of 33% in assets under management, an increase of 67% in new licenses that were issued. These are companies that are moving over to Abu Dhabi and establishing as either free zones or LLCs. And you've seen an increase of 43% in the number of operational entities. Almost 3,000 new operational entities have registered in ADGM. And the workforce has increased by 17% to over 29,000 people. Almost 30,000 people are working in ADGM alone. Now, this is Abu Dhabi's financial free zone, Abu Dhabi's financial backbone, and the growth is insane. After DIFC, this is the second fastest growing financial free zone in the whole of Middle East and South Asia. Now, what does that tell us? Finance giants like BlackRock, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, I'm sure you guys have heard these names, Brevin Howard, State Street, Apollo, they've all established offices right here in Abu Dhabi in ADGM. And every other week, hedge funds from the West, from London, from UK, from the US, they're moving. They're either relocating or establishing offices in Abu Dhabi. Just a quick Google search would prove and show this to you guys. Let me just take you guys to the news. Just look at this. Every week, whether it's Tyrus Capital, whether it's North Atlantic, you've got financial capital relocating to Abu Dhabi, right? And then why does this matter? How does this affect real estate prices? So, of course, hedge funds managers, asset managers, finance institutions, these are high income earners, these are high net worth individuals. And these people will be living, renting, and buying long term. They're not just tourists or influencers. Now, of course, with Abu Dhabi, I'm sure you guys have heard of the AI campus that is opening in Abu Dhabi, which is the size of Monaco. It's going to be that big, Stargate Abu Dhabi. And it's opening in 2026 in collaboration with, of course, OpenAI and Microsoft. And it is the largest AI campus anywhere in the world outside of the US. Now, what this means, again, is that it's not just finance, but Abu Dhabi is also investing heavily into AI and tech. Abu Dhabi's got its G42 company, which is the state-owned institution, under which you've got subsidiaries that are investing in companies like Microsoft, OpenAI, and Cerebras. So Abu Dhabi is sort of looking to become the AI capital of Middle East, of the region. Now, of course, what does it mean when Stargate Abu Dhabi is going to open up? It means that top tier talent, founders, engineers, developers, VCs, they're going to follow, they're going to move to Abu Dhabi, right? Of course, you can't just set up something and make it operational. You need these people. You need these people to come here, work, live, and sort of keep things running. Now, why Abu Dhabi? Why are all of these people, all these finance institutions moving to Abu Dhabi? Abu Dhabi's got $1.4 trillion in sovereign wealth with state-owned institutions like Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, Abu Dhabi Development Holding Company, Mubadala, Emirates Investment Authority, and G42. So these five companies, these mega companies, are Abu Dhabi's state-owned financial backbone, worth almost $1.4 trillion in sovereign wealth, which is why all of these hedge funds are moving to Abu Dhabi in search of accessing this capital. And I think the best way to describe Abu Dhabi would be as the capital of capital. So Abu Dhabi is not just the capital of UAE, it is becoming the capital of capital. And of course, Abu Dhabi Global Market ADGM is now expanding as well. You've got private credit, structured finance offerings, asset regulations, digital asset regulations. These are areas where traditional banks in the past, they've struggled, they've been slower compared to Dubai. So Abu Dhabi is now catching up to Dubai in terms of finance. And it's only going to open the door to, even more international credit managers, capital managers, VCs who want to set up either an office or a base in the GCC with tax advantages and, of course, much more modern regulation. And Abu Dhabi is basically building infrastructure for trillion-dollar industries. Abu Dhabi is attracting actual demand from real wealth. And historically, Abu Dhabi moves very slowly but strategically, which is what we've seen recently with the announcements of Disneyland, and we've seen OpenAI. So expect similar announcements from Abu Dhabi in the future as well. And of course, lastly, one of my favorite points, Abu Dhabi is just more suited for families, for people who want a calmer lifestyle. We've got some of the most beautiful beaches in Abu Dhabi, crystal blue, crystal clear. Just you guys should really drive down someday to Saadiyat Island and just look at the color of water. If I could just show you guys an example. This is a 3D virtual layout. These are the mangroves of Abu Dhabi. This is the color of Abu Dhabi. And no, this is not a 3D render. This is exactly how it looks in real life when you guys would take a drive to Abu Dhabi. So you've got theme parks on Yas Island, Warner Brothers, Waterworld, Ferrari World, Disneyland coming up. And of course, you've got the museums on Saadiyat Island's Cultural District, Louvre Abu Dhabi, Zayed National Museum, Guggenheim, National History Museum. So it's a much more relaxed, calmer place for families. And of course, you've got less urban density. You can go to malls. You're not going to be overcrowded. Traffic times are almost 15, 20 minutes. So you can basically go anywhere in Abu Dhabi from your workspace to your child's school to a hospital to a mall within 20 minutes at max. So these are the three key reasons why every Dubai investor should own at least one property in Abu Dhabi in 2025. Now, of course, prices are not just going to go up because supply is limited. Prices will go up because high income earners, high income people are making Abu Dhabi their home, and it's already happening. And why 2025? Something I forgot to mention. Why is 2025 only the best entry point into Abu Dhabi? So all of these mega projects in Abu Dhabi will start to hand over by 2027 and 2028. And of course, basic rule of real estate, the closer something gets to handover, prices appreciate. So in 2025, this rule of prices being 20-30% cheaper, this will not apply in 2027 and 2028 because prices would have already caught up to Dubai levels, right? So keep that in mind. Now, of course, BlackRock Abu Dhabi. Now, what's BlackRock? Of course, BlackRock is the world's largest asset management institution based in the US, and they manage over $12 trillion in assets. They sort of control the global financial system. And BlackRock established their office in Abu Dhabi in ADGM. So just ask yourself, it's just basic common sense. When the world's largest finance institution sets up an office in Abu Dhabi, why will other finance institutions not follow? Why would they not want to move to Abu Dhabi as well? There must be something, right? And now, of course, finally coming to what can you buy in Abu Dhabi based on your budget? Just quick, brief overview. So if your budget is around 1 mil, Reem Island, of course, is your best option. You can get a one-bedroom, ready-to-move-in apartment, sea-facing for around 1.1, 1.2 million from good, renowned developers. So if your budget is around 1 mil, Reem Island is the best place. This is where ADGM is located too. Moving on, if your budget is around 1 mil to 2 mil, around 2 million, and you're looking for a much more happening place, I guess. So you can look into Yas Island. With Yas Island, of course, you've got Yas Golf Collection, which is handing over in the next 3-4 months. You can get a one bedroom here at around 1.8 million dirhams in off-plan resale. Two bedrooms would be around 2.5, 2.6, I believe. And you can get into Gardenia Bay, of course. And you've got the villa communities. Now, of course, if your budget is more than 3 million, more than 2 million, you can easily get a townhouse on Yas Island in one of these communities in Noya Luma, in Noya Viva, and in Noya. Right. There's something very interesting that I wanted to mention about supply and demand. This is Yas Island, right? On this entire Yas Island, do you guys know there's only two ready to move in apartment communities? It's Ansam over here and Water's Edge. And these communities have already been handed over a few years back. So just imagine the demand, the backlog in supply from people who want to live on Yas Island. They just have no options from Aldar. People are forced to live in older buildings and older developments, which is exactly why prices have appreciated insane on Yas Golf Collection as well as Yas Sustainable City, which is handing over in the next few months. Now, if you guys are looking for a villa, of course, if your budget is a bit higher, 4, 5, 6 million, or let's say up to 10 million, Saadiyat Lagoons, you can get into Saadiyat Lagoons, a 4 or 5 bed villa, or you can get into one of these villa communities again on Yas Island, but I generally prefer Saadiyat Lagoons to be a much better option, as well as Jubail Island. Jubail is very, very underrated. It's right over here, and Jubail's probably got some of the best beaches you're going to see. And it's again handing over in the next 3, 4 months. So Saadiyat Lagoons, Jubail, they're your best options for a villa. And of course, you've got apartments on Saadiyat Island too. But of course, you won't find anything from Aldar. Everything is sold out. So if you guys want to get something in the secondary market and the off-plan resale market, then of course you can buy over here close to the cultural district. So that was a general overview of Abu Dhabi.